Well, cool. Well, this is obviously about your journey in music and how you got to where you are. And I want to talk to you about your new song, Hollywood Sign. And yeah, so
Yeah, we have a new song coming out too, visiting Nashville next Friday.
oh, sick. Okay,
And then
cool.
also there's a docu series we just shot. So there's a trailer that just came out a little less than a week ago called The Shit Show. All Groupies Wanted.
Oh, rad. Okay.
You can check it out on YouTube.
Oh, I saw a post about it on your Instagram. I wasn't sure if it was, oh, it's season premiere. Okay, that's funny.
Yeah, yeah. If you could check it out on YouTube. It's like a minute and a half or something. The trailer.
Rad.
It's me and my buddies and some family and friends.
That's awesome. That's
We
really
wanted to put
cool.
something together. Actually, Christy at Arista was like, "Put something together," and I was like, "All right, well, I want to make it a little bit fun." So I don't know. We try to give it a little bit of flavor.
That's rad.
I don't know if it worked or not, but
That's awesome. Well, very cool. So a new song coming out, visiting Nashville. Where are you at currently? Where do you live?
where do I live?
Mhm.
Sacramento area, Roseville,
Oh,
right
okay.
outside of Sacramento, NorCal.
Right on. Nice.
Yeah, born and raised in California.
What part of California is this? Sacramento area?
Yeah, Sacramento area.
Right on. Well,
Yeah.
how'd you get into music?
You know, it was that when I was a young age, a good buddy of mine, Dusty, he would make drum and bass music, and then I'd go over to his house and I would do vocals on top of it.
That's
And
awesome.
we record it right in his room. And then I started dabbling with production, making beats with beat machines, like a Roland DR8, this little beat machine with these buttons on it, like 16 buttons. And so I started making beats on that. And then I upgraded into a computer and started using software programs and recording my own vocals and making beats and having friends come over and start putting songs together and playing guitars and bass and whatever we could add to it. And just kind of grew from there. And just I've always had like a little home studio of some type at my house. And I've always dabbled with it, but I've always been kind of a private person. So I never really wanted to release anything. Yeah, I was always afraid I don't want to get out there because then you're gonna have to start opening up and doing all this stuff and sharing your whole life story. And then I started putting more songs together, and my family and friends were like, you need to put it out. You have to. And I started playing it for some other people, and then I got hooked up with Christy, and they're like, you got to put this stuff out. And I'm like, all right, let's do it. And that's kind of where we're at now. I put the first single out September 4th. And then we put a music video out October, like the first week of October for Hollywood Sign. And we've been working the Hollywood Sign song on radio, which has been getting some traction. We're just getting through the holidays and they're trying to beef up some more traction on that. And now we're releasing the Visiting Nashville single on January 29th, next Friday. And then in the new the Shit Show, All Groupies Wanted docuseries, there's a song in there, a new song called Boys Are Back. So I just put that on the streaming platforms to be released. It should be released early next week. But we're not doing any real promotions for that. It's just when people go to listen to Visiting Nashville and they come across Hollywood Sign, they'll come across the Boys Are Back song.
That's cool.
And it's explicit. It's got some cuss words and stuff in it. So it's not like radio friendly unless we chopped it up.
Sure. Put some bleeps or take out some words.
Yeah, it's a good tailgating, just kind of like rebellish, have fun party song.
That's cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Were you in bands growing up? You talked about like creating beats and having people come over and kind of putting songs together, but never like out and performing? Or
I would go out and perform, and it was just like Dusty was on his computer DJing or whatever, and then I performed some stuff with that, and then we'd have a guitar player or whatever. But not in like full bands. Some of my other buddies, we would just jam out in their houses.
Sure.
And we do the same thing. Like we'd play guitar, and then we'd have a drummer, and then we'd have 808s and beats and the stuff playing in the background. Just coming up with stuff, having fun. But I've just been kind of private. And I was like, I don't really want to do any shows or anything like that. But so we're rolling with it. But we're getting teed up and rehearsing and getting ready for this year to go out there and kind of rock it and put some good shows together.
Very cool. What was there like something that happened or a reason why you're like, you know what, this is the time, I'm gonna just put music out? And
I was like,
with Christy and all that. Tell me about that story.
Yeah, well, yeah, I was playing some of the tracks for. So I'm working with Jeff Balding in Nashville. He's doing the mixing and also co-production.
Hmm.
And during quarantine, he produced 4 of the songs. He did the full production on it, because the guys that I work with here in Sacramento, I mean, everybody was like, "Look, we're on lockdown, or we don't want to
Hmm.
travel right now." And
Sure.
so I sent 4 tracks back to Jeff, and Jeff's like, this stuff has got some good meat. We need to put. You should really take this serious and put this stuff out. And I just said, all right, you know what? Let me try to figure out like what the next steps are, because I didn't really know what the steps were on releasing something,
Hmm.
other than putting it on CD Baby or something like that. But so he put me in contact with a PR firm in New York. And the first video, I've got a video called My First 6'9".
Hmm.
And it's about my first 69. It's about my first car, 69 Chevelle that I have. I've
Okay.
had it since high school. I bought it in the field. It's just,
Thought
it
this
was
was
a
going
wreck.
somewhere else.
Yeah, no, it's not. And but the innuendo is about a girl, but the girl
Okay.
is my car. But it's a fun rocking song. It's fun. It's a
Uh-huh.
good tune. So I sent it to the gal in New York. And the gal in New York's like, oh, most of my bloggers and writers are female, and I just don't think that they're going to bite on this right now. And so I was like, well, you know what? Maybe I want to work with people that are going to have a personality like mine, and like I like to have fun with some of my songs, and
Hmm.
and you'll see with some of the music videos in the shit show, right? The gal in New
Sure.
York would have been
Yeah.
like, hell no, I can't work with this video, the shit show.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. So I just said, you know what? Let me find someone else I can work with. So um, I was given Christy's name, and I started talking to Christy, and I sent her the first video, and she was like, well, this is, the name and everything, I'm not too sure. And she didn't know me, right? These people
Hmm.
don't know me, and I don't know them. So it's one of those things where we have to build a relationship and try to get to know one another. It's like the way Christy says, it's like an onion. You have to start peeling it back. So,
Sure.
so I said, well, I've got this other song. Okay. I just wanted to see what you thought about the My First 6'9" song, to see what your personality type was. And she got a kick out of it, though. She's got a great personality. So we sent her the Hollywood sign video, and she liked it. It's a real it's a good standard video. It's not going to offend anybody.
Mhm. Right.
So she's like, yeah, let's go with this one, and then we can work on visiting Nashville for the second release, and then maybe we'll go with the My First 6'9" or one of the other songs for another release. So I just started building that relationship with Christy and her firm, and just taking baby steps on releasing these songs,
Hmm.
and just trying to get them out there for people to listen to. And it's probably one of the most difficult things I've ever done in life, to be honest with you,
Hmm. And
is
especially
that
right
reach.
now, I mean, it's like because everybody's home putting out music. If they're an artist, I mean, it's got to be like it's a lot of stuff happening on the internet right now. I'm sure it's hard to cut through.
Totally. And when and I wasn't sure about the whole radio thing either. But we put the Hollywood Sign song out there, and as soon as we put it out there, what do you know? It's all the major labels are like, they're kicking it into gear in September. They're like, here we go, we're dropping all the big artists, and it's like all the
Right, of
indie people
course.
are like, well, we don't really have time for you right now.
Right, right,
We got Blake
exactly.
Shelton, Taylor Swift. I mean, the Luke Combs. It's like the list goes on and on.
Yeah.
And
Taylor
they're all
Swift not
really,
only does she puts 2 records out just to like even further push everybody away.
I swear they are. If you look at it, it's unbelievable. So I'm like, what do we do here? How do you cut your teeth on this? How do you get out there as an indie artist? And they said, you just got to keep fighting. And I said, all right, well, let's keep fighting.
Hmm.
And we're just going to kind of run through the cornfields, ducking and dodging. So that's what we've been doing. And January seems like it, from a release standpoint, seems like it's been a bit slower, but it appears that it's going to start picking up in February and March. But
Hmm.
it's just one of those things. I guess, I mean, you're gonna have to. You're getting in the music business. You're gonna have to compete against the big dogs. That's who is kind of run stuff, and they have a little bit of room for the indie artists. So all of us indie artists have to support one another, but at the same time, you're fighting against one another. It's like
Hmm.
competition to get that slot on the radio or on streaming platforms on a playlist or whatever it might be, is what I found out.
Hmm.
But it's fun.
Yeah, I mean the song is doing well on Spotify. I mean, you almost have 100,000 plays on it. That's incredible.
Yeah, Spotify. I honestly, I was shocked. I thought it'd be like a couple thousand at most after a few months, but it's doing good on Spotify. And then it's been creeping up. It had it like on on YouTube on the video, it's almost at 200,000 views, which I was blown away.
Wow, that's awesome.
Um, yeah, I was blown away. I was like, really? It had a big jump in December too. And at the beginning of January, it jumped like tens and tens of thousands. And I don't know what it was exactly, but what I've also noticed is when we put the shit show out there, it's been up there for less than a week now, and it's a little over 30,000 views.
Wow.
And what I'm seeing is, I think viewers that are watching the shit show teaser is now they're going over and they're watching the Hollywood Sign. And then I have this little short clip on a lyric video for Hollywood Sign, and that's jumped up like 6,000 views.
Wow.
So I think what people do is when they see something, they're bouncing back and forth looking at other stuff.
Mhm.
So it's kind of interesting to see how that stuff works. But honestly, I was blown away. I didn't even think the trailer would get that many views that quick.
Mhm.
But it is.
But it
And
has,
the
yeah.
the retention rate, there's a retention rate that you kind of want to follow. It's really good too. So
That's amazing.
can't
That's really,
complain.
yeah, totally. I mean, and it's like, like YouTube and all these platforms are such weird things. Like, it's like you got to catch their algorithm like somehow. And, nobody really knows the science to it, or everybody could have a viral video, so to speak. But
I think it's luck, man. I don't know how these guys are getting millions and millions and millions of views, but whatever they're doing is right. People want to watch it.
mhm.
And it's just one of those things, you either have it or you don't. And I know 30,000 views seems like a lot. A lot of these people sometimes they'll hit it with 100,000 in an hour. You know what I mean?
Right. But I
So,
mean, you'd have to look at, you could compare yourself to Taylor Swift, where she can put a record out and it's going to have a million plays in the first 20 minutes because
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
everybody loves her and she's just built this brand. But I mean, for smaller artists, I mean, 30,000 is a lot of plays.
It's crazy. And then if you look at some of these YouTubers, I mean, these guys will be like, look, man, I had like a couple hundred views and then I had a million views in a week.
Mhm.
Like there was an article I was reading about this rapper out of Staten Island, and this was just last week. It popped up on the news thing, and the guy has a song called Whoopty, I think is what it's called. And it's a great story because he wasn't on Instagram or anything, right? He just made this song, and it's like a 2-minute song, and he put it on TikTok. He's not even on TikTok.
Sure.
And his sister is on TikTok. And his sister said, "Hey, have you seen what your song's doing right now?" He said, "No, what do you mean?" She said it's blowing up on TikTok. He has like 100 million views in like, it was like 4 weeks or something
Oh,
crazy.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
TikTok is a beast of its own, man.
Yeah.
I haven't even gotten into that rabbit hole because I'm just afraid I'm never gonna put the phone down. So I stay away from TikTok. I try to, but I just see all these crazy success stories coming out of this platform. It's crazy to me.
Yeah, he's one of them. If you get a chance, check out what I liked about the stories. He was really humble
Hmm.
and telling his story on how he had no clue about what was going on. He didn't really know much about TikTok at all, and then it just like blew up. So he's like, wow, like he's he's just very thankful for it. But
Yeah,
that was one example. It just took off. So
that's crazy. Well, tell me about the video for Hollywood Sign. When were you able to shoot it? Like, were you guys all? Everyone's in lockdown. I'm sure that was kind of a task in itself.
yeah, it was. So Sean, who's the director and the gentleman that shot it, believe it or not, man, we had one main camera on that
Hmm.
deal, and Sean was operating the camera. And then we had Brian, who was his backup guy, doing lighting or whatever. And then we had the little handheld camera that was on there that we would give to Gabby and Eric to be playful with.
Hmm.
You'll see some of that. You'll see some of that, the old school handheld camera
Sure.
footage going throughout the video. But we shot that in August, and we shot it on a Friday and a Saturday. So it was like like that last half of the day on a Friday, and then we woke up early and shot the rest like the whole day Saturday. So it was just five of us, and we just kept it real low key,
Hmm.
and we shot obviously the night scenes. You could tell there was really no one around. It was really quiet, to be honest with you. In Hollywood, it was like dead. We were just like
Wow.
running the streets as if it was like a movie set. It was kind of
Yeah,
awkward. We really
bizarre.
appreciated it though. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So we shot that very very quickly and just try to keep it safe, um, and then I mean it took a lot of time on editing it,
Hmm.
obviously,
Sure.
but it was a fun video to shoot because we got to enjoy hanging out down in Santa Monica, running around Beverly Hills and Hollywood, and really soaking in all the history and the Hollywood walk and everything that Hollywood has to offer.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. I've talked to other artists that have shot videos over the course of COVID, like, you know, when it was like strict lockdowns, and like just the footage they're able to capture of just LA with nobody around is just so bizarre to me.
That was an awkward feeling. What was really cool is there's a shot in the video where you'll see that we're on like a bluff overlooking the city. It was actually the Fernando Valley. So it was the north side of Hollywood on that shot. But we drove the Bronco, and Sean had his van behind us, but we drove the Bronco up to the bluff there. And there was actually quite a few people up there because everybody's looking to just get out and do something that was safe under quarantine. Going to the bluffs and with their significant other or whatever was something that people were doing. But to sit up there and look at the city's lights flicker and not much traffic on the freeways was pretty wild, because normally you'll just see headlights for days and rear tail lights.
Doesn't matter what time it is, you know, it could be 3 a.m. and it's just stop traffic.
Totally. The worst part about shooting that video, when I rented that Bronco from a guy down there, and the dude that owns it is so cool. So normally he'll have 2 surfboards on top of that Bronco, and he kept asking me like, "Are you sure you don't want the surfboards?" I'm like, "No, it's not really like a surf video or anything. It'll be kind of an awkward shot." So he's like, "All right, good luck, man." So I take off and whatever, we do our shots in the evening, and then the next day we drive to the desert to get the opening shot of the video when we're in the desert, and Gabby and Eric are in the Bronco in the desert. So I had to drive the Bronco from Santa Monica all the way to the desert, which is about an hour and 45-minute drive.
Yeah.
The thing has 4 gears and they're low gears. So driving 50 to 55 miles an hour.
You're going like 30.
It was the worst. So what I didn't realize is that night I was going to do my shots on the Santa Monica bluff there when I was doing my shots. And I wore a hat. I wore my hat backwards for the drive down to the desert. So when I got back, they're like, "Dude, your face is beat red and you have a hat line."
Hat hair?
I had a hat line. It was like just a big white, it looked like I had a white like sweatband. So if you look in parts of the video, you'll see like a white line. It was way worse. So we were trying to cover it up and trying to do some edits and stuff, but
sure. I gotta look for it now next time I watch it, because I love the video, because it's like a girl and a guy, and then they're kind of just going about the town, and like you said, like the handheld footage of the girl like on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and they're taking pictures, and it's pretty cool. It's a rad video.
Yeah, it was cool, man. That footage was fun. They had a good time. Believe it or not, Eric and Gabby met for the first time at the video shoot, and so when that beach scene was done right at Palisades. There's a place called Pacific Palisades right there. And there's a small sliver of a parking lot and a beach area. And that's where we parked to get those scenes on the beach. And when we took our first shot, it was the shot in the Bronco of them sitting in the back seat, actually. And Sean was standing on the roll cage. But he like literally like within 5 to 10 minutes into shooting, he goes in and starts kissing her. And me and Brian look at each other like, "Oh my, what is going on here?" And so we pull him aside. We're like, "Dude, like, what? Like, did you talk to her first?" And he's like, "Absolutely." I said, "What are the boundaries?" And she said, "No boundaries. I want this to feel as if we've been dating for over a year."
Oh, wow.
Because from a liability standpoint, I'm like, dude, like,
oh my gosh, am I going to get sued here? Like, what is going on? Well, that's good that she's such a good sport. Wow, that's cool.
She's so cool.
I would have never guessed that they weren't like, friends or dating or something prior to that. That's
yeah.
Great.
I learned. I was like, man, I could never, like, everyone thinks like, oh, you could be an actor. Oh man,
right.
It's no big deal. You get in front of a camera and read some lines and stuff. But when you watch these professional actors do what they're doing, it's like, it's a whole different level. Level.
Yeah, it's such a different level. Like being able to just capture certain things on just like facial expressions and like the way that they can yeah, it's such an art that people like, and I feel that way about music sometimes too. Is like people will assume that like a person like Taylor Swift just like walked out one day and was like, and somebody's like, "Here's a guitar and a song that I wrote for you that's going to be a hit." It's like, no, that's not how this works.
No way. Or if you see Jason Aldean or like Luke Bryan or someone on stage, right? You're like,
Yeah,
oh, it looks so easy. He's up there with a t-shirt and a microphone. He's
right.
pacing back and forth. But he's up there for an hour and 45 minutes and 2 hours, and he's memorized every one of these songs that these people are singing along with, right?
Uh huh.
And he looks so natural. It's like, go try to do it. You
Right.
go up there even
Yeah.
at a karaoke bar. Good
Good
luck.
luck. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I know. I've even talked to artists too that had like, maybe their parent was a musician or an artist or something. And it's like, even for those people, I feel like they don't get enough credit. Like, oh, well, you're just good because your dad was in a band, or you're only signed because of that. It's like, well, they all obviously have talent to make it to that level, or nobody would care or pay attention.
Yeah, totally. It's just, yeah, it's one of those things. It looks easy, but you get up there and try it. I mean, that's a reason
Yeah.
that these guys are doing it.
Sure, sure. So I want to talk to you about the new song coming up, visiting Nashville. Tell me about the video for this song.
Okay, so well, visiting Nashville, believe it or not, my wife and I went back there in September of 2019 for our anniversary.
Oh, awesome.
And my
My
wife,
wife and I
first
are
of all,
moving there. We're moving there in a few months, or yeah, within the few months. So we're
I'm jealous, man.
excited.
The people there are amazing. The place is great, phenomenal. So my wife was like, I was like, what do you want to do for our anniversary? And she's like, well, I kind of want to go to the beach or something. And I was like, well, because I'm not really a beachy person. My mind's always going, right? I'm like, I gotta be doing something. So let's go do a little city hopper. So I'm like, let's go to Nashville. That'll be like our first stop. Then we did Boston and New York. But when we went to Nashville, hung out, soaked it all in, and I was like, I need to write a song about this. This place is so cool. And I just want to
Mhm.
write it from an outsider's perspective. And hopefully people relate to it or whatever. So we put the song together, and then we shot that video in October, I think it was. And so it was another one of those things during quarantine. We got family and friends together, and some family members are like, I don't want to do this. And some friends are like, oh, I don't want to do this. We're too nervous and stuff. So the people that you see in the video are the crazy ones that are willing to be like, I don't
Care.
care.
That's cool.
I'm going. And if you have free beer and drinks,
Oh yeah, sign me up.
count me in. So what we did is I put my phone on Spotify and just had a playlist of songs playing throughout the day.
Mhm.
And as you're aware, these video shoots, I mean, everyone seems like, oh, a music video shoot, this is gonna be fun, man. We're gonna party the whole time, but it's a lot of work and it takes a lot of time.
Oh yeah, and a lot of doing the same thing over and over again to get that perfect shot.
Yeah, so I just made sure we had good music, and everybody was just. I tried to just cater to everyone, make sure they're happy and stuff, because they spent the day with us on putting this thing together. So we shot the video in a bar, and then we got B-roll of Nashville and did all that stuff. And so
And
there's
you got to shoot it in Nashville, or you shot it in Sacramento?
well, so you have to watch the video.
Okay.
But I'll tell you. No, but I'll tell. Yeah, I don't want to give a spoiler alert.
Sure. Yeah, I'll watch it when it comes out. But yeah, keep going. Sorry.
Okay, so some of it was shot in Nashville and some of it was shot in Sacramento. We had to do it that way.
Cool.
But if you watch it from start to finish, you'll completely understand how the video works and why it was put together and how it all unfolded.
Can't
So
wait. That's awesome.
yeah. But hopefully you like the song too. That's the biggest, most important part. But yeah, we there's performance shots on stage there with not the full band but part of the band. We couldn't get the fiddle player out there, and we couldn't get the banjo player out there. We had a drummer, the keys, and the guitar.
That's cool.
So we were rocking out doing that, and we try to have a really good time. So it's in a bar atmosphere, full blown bar. The stage is upstairs, and yeah, there's some other components to it that hopefully are a little bit entertaining for you.
That's awesome. I can't wait to see it. So Visiting Nashville is coming out later this month, and then you have, or probably next week. What's the
Yeah,
day?
next Friday,
Next
January
Friday.
29th. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
when it's
I
being
can't believe it's
released.
almost January is almost over. This whole, like, it's just so, everything's going so quickly.
I know.
So do you have like you said you have other songs coming out? So do you have like an EP ready to go, or what can we expect?
No, we're gonna do singles. I think I want to do the next song in March. Let
Okay.
Visiting Nat. So okay, so Hollywood Signs Out. Visiting Nashville's coming out next Friday. Boys Are Back. That's gonna be out this Monday. So
Okay.
literally just after the
Couple
weekend. If we
days
can get it
after.
out sooner on the platforms, we will.
Okay.
Um, um, when I when I put it out on the platform on with the distributor, I put the name of the song, the artist being me, and then I put the shit show trailer song. So they actually they put the release on hold because they thought it was another artist that I was uploading it with from a trailer, from the trailer.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I went back and forth with them on emails today, and I said, no, I'm the artist and it's my song. So if all goes well, it will be released to the platforms tomorrow.
Oh, awesome.
And we haven't done any marketing for that, but it'll be one of those things you can go check out and listen to the full song. You can hear a little less than half of it on the trailer. You'll hear
Okay.
the first verse and the first chorus on the trailer. So
Very
that'll
cool.
give you a feel, kind of a vibe for it,
Hmm.
of what it's about and stuff. But
Awesome.
we just figured, Christy was like, go for it, just release it. So that'll be out. And then I think we're going to release, I have another song that should be finished that I really like a lot. Like I like all the songs, but this one, it just, I don't know, there's something about it that I was thinking about releasing that one in March, and then maybe my first 6ix9ine shortly after that. And then I've got several others that we'll probably do. I want to release them more rapidly throughout the
Hmm.
year, but
Sure.
I want to have enough time to do videos for each of them, and have fun with it. So I don't know if we're going to do an EP, and I don't really want to do the whole album right now. I'm just not. People don't know who I am.
Hmm.
I'm not really established. I think putting the whole album out there, I don't know. I don't know. It just seems like throwing everything out there, and I don't know.
Yeah,
Just
it's just an
not
interesting
the right
time to
approach.
release music in general. I mean, with,
Yeah.
with the nature of the world and not just the typical record tour, record tour, record tour, you know,
Yeah, that's the thing. Like most people,
pattern.
and when you release it, you're going to want to go out there and do. Yeah, you're going to do your record tour. You're going to do your shows. You'll try to jump in on your radio stations, offer
Mhm.
promotions, but there's none of that. So it's like, why not just do singles and throw your videos out there, and then once the shows kick up, we can go out and start rocking the shows, and then people hopefully will be like, oh, okay, who's this guy? I haven't heard him. And then if we can get some more traction and start building up a fan base, and people start liking the music, then we can start releasing more of it. But we have a lot to I have a lot to release.
Very cool. Very exciting. I can't wait to hear it. I can't wait to check out this song tomorrow, and of course the video for Visiting Nashville coming out next Friday. So, and thank you, Dave, for doing this. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me on. I mean, yeah, I really appreciate it.
Of
So I mean,
course.
yeah, I mean, just have the opportunity to talk to you, and I mean, it's a great opportunity. And if you enjoy the song or songs, I mean, I'd
Yeah.
appreciate your feedback too. Because if there's something you don't like, just say, hey, no, I'm not really into it, but I like this one. I don't like that one. It gives me a better indicator of, kind of.
Sure. I mean, I like the one I've heard. So I
Yeah.
like Hollywood Sign. I've heard that one, and I like the video. So you're on a good pace for me personally.
Right. Cool.
That's
Thanks, man. I
cool.
love it.
Yeah, it's awesome. And I have one more question for you. I want to know if if you've learned anything. Like, do you have any advice for other aspiring artists right now?
The biggest thing that I've learned, is just be authentic, be who you are. And when I was out there trying to find a PR firm to work with, which I honestly didn't know, like like what the PR firms do exactly, and obviously I know now, but when when they were like, well, I can't work on this one because the name of the song, My First 6ix9ine, is kind of offensive, or you have a beautiful girl in it wearing Daisy Dukes, and the name of the song's My First 6ix9ine, or it's just
Mhm.
like I don't want to change. Just don't change what you're doing. Do what you're doing because you enjoy it. And if people don't like it, they don't like it, but you can at least learn from what they like and don't like to try to better yourself on that type of style of song or whatever. But just if you make enough music, and you try to diversify yourself with the sound of the music, I think you'll find that, I mean, not everybody's going to like every one of your songs. They're going to like this one over that one and that one over this one, but find out how you group those people apart, and just be yourself, man. Just write what you feel. And if you have co-writers, hopefully they they understand how you feel and you guys mesh well together, or you're getting songs that you believe in from writers, one way or another. But just don't change who you are.
Bringing it backward.